Hey guys, this is Chelsea Shaffer and this is The Score. This is the Team Roping Journal's venture into the world of podcasting. On this show, you'll be able to bring the Team Roping world's movers and shakers on the road or to the office with you. They'll be telling stories and talking through some of the issues facing this sport. As the editor of the Team Roping Journal, I'll be your host. Hey, Tara.
Hey, Chelsea. Welcome back. Welcome back to the office.
Yeah, guys, I've been traveling a bit. We were in Reno for BFI week, which you all heard the episode 7 of The Score last week with Chris Francis and Kate Passig. And then I have been at Greeley for the Greeley Stampede because as we're recording this episode, we are smack in the middle of Cowboy Christmas.
Mm-hmm. So tell us what's happening over in Greeley right now.
Sure. Clay Tryon and Travis Graves, the new old partners for this year, are leading it, tied with the Torres brothers. They both have an 11.8 on 2. And this year Greeley is 2 and a short. So we will be standing by for next week for the short round on the 3rd. So by the time you hear this, we will know who won Greeley. So sorry about that. But you can look at our Facebook page and our social media, and we'll be sure to cover it in the meantime. And then I saw Charlie Crawford and Ty Arnold are winning Prescott, and that is awesome because they're another new team. Ty Arnold's a young kid, and it's great to see them doing good. Charlie is so good at taking on young talent and kind of making them blossom.
And besides following these guys over the 4th of July run, you're also smack dab in the middle of the August issue. What can listeners look forward to in the August issue?
Yeah, we go to press in the August issue next Monday before the 4th of July. So it is another huge issue, another 178-page book. You guys, I love how good the team roping industry is because it is growing by leaps and bounds, and that makes a lot of work for us, but that's awesome. Super glad to see it. The August issue will have a full explanation of the American Cowboy number 10 with RFG TV's The American that is going to be hosted through select World Series and U.S. ropings. And so we will have a step-by-step guide to how to qualify for the American Cowboy 10. I talked to Terry Rappel the other day. Her and her husband, Bo, hosted the very first American Cowboy 10 qualifier in Gill, Colorado. And Terry said they did a big Q&A before the roping started, before entries closed, to explain to people what was going on with this roping and how to qualify. And I think there is still a little bit of confusion out there, despite the fact that we've done a Q&A with Denny about how it works, and it's on our website. You can go to teamropingjournal.com and read Denny's Q&A, and then look for a step-by-step guide to the American Cowboy 10 in the August issue.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's talk about today's episode. You have a big name on today, and you were in a big location, so kind of tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to Karl Stressman, president of the USTRC, former commissioner of the PRCA. We were in the dock bar room at the Reno Livestock and Event Center watching the Reno Rodeo Invitational. And it's an 11-point, it's a USTRC affiliate this year, so that's awesome. People's money earned counts towards discounted entry fees at the finals. And we kind of covered a whole range of topics, especially, we talk a lot about what he's learned in the last 6 months working with Denny Gentry in the World Series as kind of partners and working together to grow the sport of team roping. So we talk a lot about the changes that are coming for the U.S. finals. And just so you know, U.S. finals entry forms are in the August and July issues of the Team Roping Journal, so please don't miss those. Please get entered. Karl talks about what you can expect in Oklahoma City.
All right, without further ado, here's Karl Stressman with Chelsea.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy. So tell everybody where we are.
Well, we're sitting in Reno, Nevada. We're inside the Livestock Event Center, Reno Sparks Livestock Event Center, and we're watching the number 11, the $1 million roping put on by Peter Sonoma Productions, and pretty cool place to be today.
Yeah, and it is a USTRC affiliate, correct?
Yes, it is. Proud of it.
Yeah. You are on month 6 at the USTRC. Mm-hmm. What do you now know about team roping that you did not know 6 months ago?
Well, I don't know if I can. How long do we have? So the list goes on and on forever. But the facts are, I'm getting a little smarter at what I think is who we need to listen to and what we need to do and how we need to structure, the organization and make a few little changes in it to effectively make it better for everybody. I mean, it's really about the ropers. And it's about, good producers, and it's about, trying to find a level playing field and trying to increase the dollars that come out of it, because there's an awful lot of it that's invested in it by these ropers, and the USTRC is looking at all aspects of it. So, been interesting.
So you had said one of the first things you said, we're going to break that all down a little bit more.
Okay.
One of the first things you said is people that you need to listen to. Can you give me some instances of some people that you have met along the way over these last 6 months that have?
I'll tell you that one of the things that I have done, one of the things I did in one of my other careers a few years ago was to try to listen to the people that were putting the effort and the money into producing events. Doesn't make any difference whether you're talking about Pro Rodeo or you're talking about USTRC. I really do believe that but being close to them and the communication level between the producers, our good producers, and the USTRC is mandatory, because, as you know, we're all owned by the AIM Group now, including World Series and the USTRC, but both organizations have some strong regional areas, geographically, and I do believe that the team roping world does differ slightly from East Coast to the middle of the country to the West Coast, to Texas. I do believe that. So we got some great producers in all of those areas that I think it's important that we listen to what their needs are, and I think we address their needs. We address needs at the producer level. We will address needs of the ropers, and that's really the end game, is to try to make sure that the ropers are pleased. And look, we're not naive enough to think that I'm not naive enough to think coming out of another world that everybody's gonna go, man, this is the greatest thing in the world. It's not gonna happen. I know that as well as probably anybody in this industry, with maybe the exception of Denny, but it's important for us to listen and then make some changes, not necessarily go in as what we consider to be the new whatever it is and make the changes. I think it's important that we listen and then we make changes based on gathering information.
So what are some of the needs that you've seen from producers? What are some of the changes that they have asked for?
Well, I think we have to get the USTRC. First of all, people have to understand the USTRC has real strength, and that it always has, and maybe it's gone through somewhat of a lull, but you know what, we need to polish on it and make sure that it's the right that the formulas are right. That one of the biggest issues we have and have had, I think, is age protected. Just take a look at the World Series and see how successful that's been, and the USTRC has the opportunity to do that now. That being said, we also launched junior NFR piece, because we all know that guys my age are going to one of these days wear out, and we need the next generation coming in. So we have a place for them, but it doesn't mean that they can compete every day head to head with us, because we know that we can't compete with them. So why not make it so that everybody has an opportunity we provide an opportunity for everybody to come and play and have, again, as close to a level playing field as we can. So there's a lot that you have to take into consideration, and that certainly is one of them.
And the 7 has been pretty successful, the addition of the 7.
Well, my thought process on that deal is that the 7, pick or draw on the 7, we have a lot of people, in my opinion, that have gotten into the roping game a little bit later in life. And I'm going to tell you that at my age, I'm not getting any better. And neither are an awful lot of other people. And if we can convince people that that's okay, but yet provide them with additional opportunity in place of what we have today, then we're just going to build the game. I mean, there's a ton of people like, myself in the game in their late 60s. I just want to rope. I just want to go rope. I want to have fun. I want to rope, but I want to be able to win occasionally, so I want to be numbered correctly, which is another issue, obviously. And I want to be able to go and rope with my friends and the partners that I normally rope with.
And we've made some changes to the number system. Talk a little bit about what's going on with the number system that AIM and the USTRC and the World Series all are involved with?
Well, the number system's always, been the biggest issue, and it's funny because, the announcement didn't even hit the airways before I had people calling me wanting to know if they could get their number lowered. Most of it was, people that I've known for years that said, hey, you need to lower my number. I tried to. So, and very frankly, none of them got their number lowered off of those calls, I can tell you that. But I think it's important for us to really spend the time to evaluate the situation, and the guys down there in Stephenville are really doing a job, and they're being very cautious with what's coming out in the second phase of this. AIM's completely behind that. The system. As I go around the countryside, I've had an opportunity to be in a couple of U.S. Opens weekends up there, and I can tell you that unless people are not telling me the truth, most people are pretty satisfied with their number.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. Of course, the squeaky wheel supposedly they think gets the grease, but there's always somebody that's unhappy about it. And one of the things that we're trying desperately to do is to make sure that we have enough data coming in that we can make decisions that are intelligent, and I think the biggest issue that we have had in the past is we see people's opinion of the number system is that we move people up but we never move people down, and I don't think that's true, but I think that's the perception, and perception, as you well know, is reality. So so people are like, well, I'm not going to so-and-so, I'm not going to U.S. Open because if you go there and win, they move your number up. Well, that's not true.
No.
Because you have to be in a statistical category where if you win something and you get your number moved, it's because you were roping on the border of a number change anyway. So then when you do place it a couple of places, then we don't have any choice. We have to make the decisions. We meaning that system has to make the decision, not me. So don't call me, okay? Because
it is so. The system, that computer is so sophisticated.
It is absolutely. And now you have all kinds of things, speed indexes, and all of the returns, and the number of opens that you've been in, and how many times you placed, and all those things that really are mandatory to justify those things, and it's there. Mm-hmm. The computers don't lie. Statistics do not lie, no matter what you think or do. Statistics don't lie. You can put them all together, but people. I want to rope at a lower number. So does everybody else. We're looking out here. We're looking out of the dock bar room at all these number 11 teams. If you went to somebody and said, "Look, we're going to lower your number half a number," do you think anybody's going to go, "Hey, wait a minute, don't lower mine"? So therefore, that's the mentality that we sometimes have to deal with too.
And I seem to hear people say, well, so-and-so called me in. They think somebody told on them, and that's the only way. And that's so not the only way.
That's completely false.
Yeah.
Because and again, I wasn't in this position, 20 years ago, but certainly Denny was. And, if somebody calls, if you completely stick out, of course somebody's going to dial the phone and say, you know what, Karl Stressman should not be numbered that way. He's blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. Mm-hmm. Boy, I get that, but that is the last thing that we want to influence any number changes, because that justification is hard to say. Yes, you did this, and this. The justification system is here's statistically what happened, and I'm going to it takes away an awful lot of the argument of whether your number's being raised or not. Same way on the other side. We need to move quicker on reducing numbers so that guys don't get hung out there and don't have the opportunity, over a period of time to not get in this. Look, there's an awful lot of money being spent in the team roping industry at lots and lots of associations around the country. So if you have choices as to where you go, we certainly want the U.S. and the World Series, and I'm not speaking for Denny, but we certainly want the USTRC to be part of a fair and equitable program that the ropers can say, hey, no worries. But they also have an opportunity to call and say, hey, look, here's my debate on this deal. So I really do believe we have the ability to do it, and it is and it would be very, very nice if everybody was a little closer on the same playing field, because then all of a sudden everybody's data gets reported. It becomes a better opportunity for everybody.
Yeah,
I think.
a better, more accurate picture of what's happening, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Tell me, speaking of Denny, What have you learned from Denny, and what have you learned about Denny Gentry in the last 6 months?
You know what? He's the genius in my personal opinion, and don't let him hear this because it'll ruin it for me. But he's, this is a guy that, along with Connie, and I got to give Connie an awful lot of credit for what happened in that. The huge success that these people have had in the team roping industry is glaring when you get to hang around with them for a while. This is their life. They've lived this. They've lived every part of it. If I have a question, the first thing I do is, if I'm not in Albuquerque, is call Denny and go, hey, what do you think about this? And we've had some disagreements, and I don't mean disagreements, but we have disagreed on a few things. But when you listen to the guy speak about the team roping industry, he's absolutely passionate about it and has witnessed probably most everything that there is to witness in the team roping industry. So to have him as a resource is I don't think you can beat that deal. I don't care where you went and what you want to do for a living. I think if you have a guy like that knows the game, he and is absolutely willing to sit and talk about the team roping industry and not have a problem giving information or giving information to me about it. That's he's got it wired. He knows what he's doing.
He sure does. He helped you. You all worked together to craft some of the changes that are coming down the pike for the U.S. finals.
We you know what? There's nothing that I have done certainly in the last few months that I haven't at least gone to Denny and say, hey, listen to this and see if I'm crazy as heck or whether this has some opportunity. So it's nice to be able to have a resource like him. But he's well aware of what's happening at the U.S. and he really is in charge of roping operations for our parent company, which obviously you're well aware of. And so he asks good questions. He doesn't always give you the answer. He'll say, well, what about this? And well, if you did this, what would happen on this deal? Which is a great opportunity because it does make you think through to the very end of this deal and not just go ahead and take, what Denny says is what, that's what we're going to do. That's not true. What Denny says is, hey, you need to think about this and how it affects this, and that's pretty easy gig when you start thinking it through that way.
Don't forget, this podcast is supported by US Rider, the premier equestrian roadside assistance program in the industry. You've heard me talk about it every episode since the start, and now I want to give you a promo code so you all can subscribe and save money too. You get 14 months for the price of 12 with the promo code PC718. That is P as in Paul, C as in cat, 718. You only get it if you're listening to The Score. This is a Score exclusive promo code. So head on over to usrider.org and subscribe. And so what are some of those changes that people can look forward to at the U.S. Finals this year?
Well, you can get on the website. You can get on our website and take a look at the change on there. The schedule's all posted in there, so please do that because there are some changes, and we don't want anybody to get caught short of not doing it. But there's a 16 this year, and that's different than what we've had in the past. There is not an open there at Oklahoma City. There's the exclusive ropings, which have been going on for most of this year. Have gotten some strength in it because those are age protected. So that's 25 and over. And when we talked about listening to the ropers, last year there were some complaints about the young people. And again, boy, I don't want to rope against them, but I know that they're the next generation of the real ropers in the world, so we have to take care of them too. But the exclusives do take the place. There's 5 exclusive ropings out there. They're beginning to catch on with our producers out there today, and I think they'll be huge when they get to the U.S. Finals in Oklahoma City, just because they are age protected and that will give everybody a little cleaner, playing field. So I think that's a great deal. You mentioned before that we did the pick and draw on the 7. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of a number 7 roping, and quite a few of our producers have had them, and they've gotten really good success on them. And very frankly, I hope it's a huge success at the finals this year. We need to entertain certainly that end of the team roping world, because, like I said, I think there are some people that are in the game at 50 or 55, male and female, that want to rope, and maybe maybe they never advance any farther because of circumstances to be anything but roping into 7, and why not? I mean, let's give the people what they're asking for, and the only way we can grow the sport is to encourage people to participate. So that's a real plus in that area too. Of course, the all ladies is in there. There's a few little changes in that. There's an 8 incentive in the ladies, and it's capped this year for the first time. So because that was the decision that we decided to make on behalf of the ladies that are roping at the all ladies. So. Of course, the junior NFR, that's another piece that's again, we mentioned it before, but there's a junior BFI tomorrow here in Reno, which I look forward to seeing. Darren Peterson, of course, I talked to him a couple of days ago, and it's full. They filled up on that, so that'll be interesting to see. And there's who you're looking for. For the next generation, these young people that are going to rope tomorrow in this junior BFI, and they get, I believe it's triple the points tomorrow in the BFI. But those are the young people that you're going to see at Oklahoma City at the youth deal, and we'll go on to Las Vegas to compete in the junior NFR, which is a cool program that includes all the events. But obviously, our main focus is certainly on the team roping. But so there's lots of things going on.
Yeah, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of good things. But was it a hard decision to not have the U.S. Open this year?
Yeah.
Talk about
it's always a hard decision not to have one. Of course, when you got done watching the BFI yesterday, and you're just mesmerized by the open guys. I mean, they're just, they're mounted, and they just rope so well. And just like that short run
was so special. It was special,
15 guys coming back, and every one of them just got faster and faster and faster. In the middle of that, about from 10th to probably 10th or 11th to 8th or something, they had to be 5'6" or 5'2" to get in it. And man, they came with it. And the steers, they did a good job on the steers for the short run yesterday. I thought they did a good job on the steers altogether, but they were strong through the rope, and they were little, they were handpicked for the short run, obviously, and they did a nice job on that. But it was the most amazing watching of those guys. So it's always difficult not to have that. But again, we're charged with the responsibility of making a little money for our parent company and media, and I'm convinced that the open guys will find somebody to rope in that case number 16. Of course, they're giving the tractors away in the 16, so that's a big deal. And again, in a 16 roping, hopefully there'll be more teams in a 16 than we typically have in a straight open roping, and so there's an opportunity for them. Not the same opportunity, but there's an opportunity for them, and there's tractors to be given away, and there's so I'm hoping it's the right decision. I'm sure it won't. Again, you can't satisfy everybody on that deal, and I hope they don't understand that nobody's coming after the open ropers. That's not even close to being the situation. But we feel like strategically that the 16 probably plays a little better this year, and we'll take a look at it and see what happens. And nothing to say that we won't make some changes on that format next year when we take a look back and see how it worked.
How it's evolving, for sure. The junior NFR qualifiers have been going pretty dang well. It looks like John English sends me the results every month, and it seems like it's strong.
I think there's some indication that we may cut down on some of the junior qualifiers for next year and strategically place them a little bit more regional so that they draw a few more people rather than have as many as we had. You know what? This was an attempt to do what we thought was the best thing to do this year. Of course, with John, he heads that up and does a great job on that deal with. But then he's input and looking at it, and I knew a little bit about the junior NFR prior to this deal. It was a hey, let's try this and see. The great thing about Denny Gentry and the great thing about AIM Media is, they've been pretty cool about letting us collectively, look and see, and then not really so stringent as to say, no, we can't change this deal. So that's a pretty nice way to manage, is to be able to say, well, this may not be working very well. Let's move in a different direction, or slight different direction anyway. So we're not so bound by rules and regulations, which is a pretty cool deal. So therefore, when you're out in the marketplace, like I've been here, a couple days in Reno, and have the opportunity to be here again tomorrow. And it's important to get down there and talk to guys that are in this 11. There's a 12 tomorrow. There's the junior is tomorrow afternoon. The BFI was yesterday. It is important to hear people and what they have to say. And there's a lot of ropers certainly that I have known over the years, and they're usually not afraid to give me free advice. I can tell you that. I've had a lot of it in my career.
Yeah.
So they're not afraid to tell me, and it's okay. Believe me, it's just fine with me. I'm anxious to increase my knowledge of what the best thing for the industry at this level is. It's different to work with one individual discipline rather than working the overall, and very frankly, it's certainly really enjoyable for me, because I am a team roper, and I love it. I have a huge passion for the team roping world, and I never made a secret of it, even in my former career. I'm a big fan. Not only do I team rope, but I'm a big fan of team roping. So I want it to continue to grow and produce more and more and more.
Have you watched your former organization at all from afar, and have you been paying attention to anything going on in PRCA?
I'm a fan, so I'm a rodeo fan also, and I will always be a rodeo fan. But I really am. I've always been under the impression that the king is dead, long live the king. It's not my gig. I think we certainly showed some success in it. I can't tell you, I wish the absolute very best to the organization. I've got great people that are still friends of mine that work there, obviously. I have had some conversation with Mr. Taylor in terms of, just kind of a overall, how are you, and all that. And I do believe that, firmly believe, that right people for the right times, for the right jobs is huge. And I don't think there's enough people that express the sentiment that when you're the right person for the right time, for the right job, it becomes better. When you try to put a round peg in a square hole, you fight and fight and fight and fight. I don't think you're always the right person for the right job. And I'm perfectly content to tell you that almost 10 years of being in my former career was long enough to be in that former career. Somebody else with new ideas and maybe a little more energy based on that, not sheer energy, but energy based on that job. I really think that's probably, the timing was probably appropriate. I really do. I'm not sure that anybody else will go close to 10 years in that job. I don't know if they will or not. I think I was fortunate because a lot of the time we were in a fist fight with somebody, and that seemed to be I had some strengths in that area of trying to get some things done that will stay in play for a long time. Now, new ideas, new opportunities. That's their job, is to go find new opportunities and new jobs and give the guy a shot at it. If I thought that the first month that I was at the U.S., everybody was going to judge my performance by the first month, man, I'd be sitting in the house in Taylor, Arizona, or Cave Creek, today, because it is a learning curve, no matter how much experience you've had in any area. The guy's a businessman. He came out of Caterpillar. People don't achieve what he achieved because you're stupid or you're lucky. He obviously has some skill sets, and I think that they're probably appropriate for the timing.
Hey, before you go, leave us a rating on iTunes, leave us a review, let the world know what you think. That helps more people find us on iTunes, and give us a shout out, share it with your friends, so more people can know about the score, can talk team roping, and hopefully help push this industry even further forward. Thank you all.